My third round was against 1900 rated Austrian chess player, and let's see how did it go. So I started playing with d4, d5, c4, e6, knight on f3, knight on f6, and g3. I played Catalan. I really didn't know what he would play. He did not have as many games here, and my opponent played here c6, which I did not expect, but I still played. Bishop g2, bishop e7, castle, castle, and queen c2. Only move to protect pawn on c4. That's why I did that. Knight bd7. Sometimes they play b6 here as well, or e6, or taking on c4, but my opponent played knight bd7. I played knight bd2. Idea was to play here e4 or rook d1 or b3, and that's regular continuation in this opening, but sometimes they play b3 here, which I did not want, so I played knight bd2. I wanted to play e4. My opponent played rook e8, which was pretty suspicious move here. Usually they either play c5 or they take pawn on c4, play b3 and bishop e2. My opponent played here rook e8, which let me this move, e4, which I really wanted to play at the beginning. So my opponent took on e4, I took with knight, and my opponent played knight on f8. Actually, instead of knight on f8, it would be much better to play e5, and probably if I would take maybe knight g4, but knight f8 was passive move, which gave me a really big advantage here, and I played here rook d1. The idea was to protect pawn on d4. Okay, my opponent played here knight g6. I expected him to take knight on e4, and I would take with queen and then play b3, but he played here knight g6. I didn't know what was his idea, probably to play 5, I'm not really sure, but I played h4. When your opponent plays knight g6, knight g3, knight b3 or knight b6, there is really common to play either h4, a4 or a5 or h5, so that's why I pushed my pawn on h4, plus it was protected, so why not? And my opponent took on e4, and I took with queen and bishop f8. Now I have literally winning position, because look at my opponent's pieces, they are like super passive and they can't really do anything. And yeah, I'm just simply developing my pieces. So bishop e3, queen on a5 and c5. The idea was here not to let black to play queen on f5 here. Look at black's king and then play h5 here. And my opponent played here bishop e7, which was a mistake, because I just simply push h5 and then I play knight e5, and I'm controlling center, I'm controlling both sides, so why not? And my opponent played f6 here, which was again mistake, because it weakens king side, and I play knight c4, queen d8 and bishop on f4. Queen d5 was mistake, because I really wanted to play queen e2 before to protect pawn on h5, and queen d5 just simply let me to do so. Queen e2 and queen d8. Well, yeah, he just lost the tempo here, and my goal was to play b4, rook b1, a4, b5, and let's simply continue like that. b4, bishop d7, and rook b1. And here my opponent played h6. Actually, my opponent has nothing to do here, and he played h6. And I simply continue playing here properly. I played a4. The idea was to play b5 and open this light squared bishop. And knight on h7. He just tries to simply develop his knight, but he absolutely can't do anything here. And b5. I just want to attack c6 pawn, b7 pawn, open b file. And my opponent played f5, where he blundered this move. I take, and then I take on c6, and if he would take with bishop here, I would be queen on e6, and then I would just simply take back this bishop, and I have 2 extra pawns. So my opponent saw that and played knight on f6, which is also a mistake, because I'm just simply winning exchange here. I took some time here to evaluate this position, and I was thinking, was it worth it to give this light squared bishop and etc. But then I realized that my opponent does not have any counterplay here, and my king is pretty well protected, so that's why I decided to take on a8, and thankfully I did it. And then I played a5, just simply not to give this pawn on a4, knight on e4, and I played queen e3. The idea is not to let knight c3, queen d5 and knight on e5. Idea is just simply to trade this light squared bishop. Bishop c8 and queen b3. Of course, I have extra exchange, I have extra pawn, and I really want to trade these queens. Bishop g5, this is what I wanted. I took, he took, I took on g5, and then played rook b8. And now I'm just simply winning this game. King on f8, rook on e1, idea to play f3 and knight g6, f3 and knight g6, and then he resigned because after king on f7 I would just simply take on e8, and if he would take with knight or king, does not matter, I'm going to take on c8, and this is absolutely winning. I think this game was the most perfect game in this tournament for now, and I hope it will continue like this. And if you liked the video, make sure to give thumbs up and subscribe my YouTube channel.